And it's just basketball. At the end of the day, it's just basketball.
Like and subscribe on the way in the door, my people. I hope you all are having a truly fantastic day today. Welcome back, my people. Welcome back, my people. I tell you what, I am confused because I thought sports was about competition. And I thought the purpose of competing was to win. I thought that was the absolute goal of sports and competing was to win. But in today's day and age, that seems to not be the most important thing. In today's day and age, there seems to be many things in the mind of these players that supersedes winning, including money, and according to Kenyon Martin and Marcellus Wiley, MVPs. So Kenyon Martin was on the Marcellus Wiley show, and they actually started off discussing whether Durant was the best player on those Warriors team. I would argue the only reason Durant was able to play so well and so carefree on those Warriors teams is because he had somebody like Steph who essentially took all the pressure away, pressure away from Durant actually having to be the guy and lead the team. Durant simply had to be a great role player, so to speak. Even though he was cooking LeBron and these different things, again, to me, he only was able to do that because all the pressure is off when you're playing with someone who's going to share the blame equally if you guys fail. If they fail, everybody's not going to point the finger at Durant and say, oh, see, you can't get it done. The finger's going to be pointed at Durant, and it's also going to be pointed at Curry and Clay and Draymond and so on. So to me, that's the only reason that Durant was able to play so well with the Golden State Warriors. And not to mention he was playing on a team that already had success. But so that conversation devolved into talking about whether MVPs were more important than championships. And this seems to be the opinion of Kenyon Martin, that he would rather have an MVP or $300 million, according to Kenyon Martin. He would rather have either one of those things.
No chips.
But he had an individual league MVP, which people count.
There's a lot of guys that got MVPs that didn't win.
People hold the MVP more than an NBA championship.
Depends who you ask.
No.
Depends who you ask. Depends who you ask.
No.
What do you hold higher?
Individual.
What do you hold higher?
You stand on your individual two first, dog.
You? What do you
team
hold higher?
accolade. I'm telling you.
You put MVP over champ?
Yes.
Over championships, and of course, Marcellus Wiley agrees with this, which is no surprise. And I must say, people, this, like I said at the beginning of the video, this is really getting, I don't even understand what we're doing here anymore. I don't even understand why some of these players are even playing except just to get the money.
I've been telling you that. $300 million over a championship.
No.
MVP over a championship. What else you want me to put over the championship?
I only agree with that because there's people who got champs. There's people who are champs and they rode the bench. In that situation, yes, MVP over. But if you were MVP that led your team to a championship, I'm carrying that chip with more. That chip carries more weight.
Okay,
than MVP.
What you stand on first though? Yo, two.
If you carry, I'm saying, let's say it's LeBron, right? We're going to use LeBron as an example.
What comes first in the NBA season?
Oh, the MVP, because you get that before the championship.
Wonder why? Coincidence? I think not.
But what has the bigger allure to it?
They don't wait.
No. Of course it does.
If you top it off.
They do whole ceremonies when you win a chip. If you top
it off.
They do parades when you do a chip. They do parades for MVP.
It's like Shea topped it off this year.
Yeah, he did both.
MVP.
He got it all.
Championship, right? cool.
Ask him
A
which
lot of
means
people
more. I
don't
bet you he says that chip.
And so, part of Kenyon Martin's reasoning and Marcellus Wiley's reasoning is that the MVP is an individual award. So that is what shows how great you are individually. You got to be great individually before you get the championship, which is so-called a team accomplishment. First of all, there's been plenty of seasons where people who should have won the award didn't win the award for various reasons. Voters fatigue. Sometimes it even has to do with the player himself, like Kobe. I'm positive that the whole Colorado thing knocked Kobe out of a few MVPs. So yeah, to me, MVPs alone cannot be more important than the championship, and I say this for this reason. Kobe only has one MVP, but even if he had no MVPs, the people who watch Kobe Bryant understand that he was the MVP. The people who watched his career understand that he was the most important component on his team and that they don't win those championships without him. So, which is different, which I don't know why this has to constantly be explained, which is different from a bench player or a role player who's just part of the team. When you're talking about someone who is clearly the main guy, whether they won the MVPs or not, the championship is what really defines them.
What he says may not be what he means.
Nah,
Yeah,
don't do that. Don't do that.
No, I'm telling you because the way he's been brainwashed and team and all that, the way they are as a team.
I knew I love this dude.
The way they are as a
DP.
team.
I knew it.
The way Oklahoma City are as a team, all the interviews and all that together, camaraderie. This is J-Dub. So he giving every, so he's going to say the right thing.
This is a good topic. We need to find.
He's going to say the right thing.
Somebody needs to ask people who won MVP and a chip which one means more.
Lie
to
detector
them.
test. The only way you're gonna find this out for real. It's
I'm
been
just saying.
deeply embedded in dudes' heads to say we when he mean me.
Nah, some guys gonna say MVP.
First of all, you never get paid just because you're the 12th guy on a championship team. But you will always get paid if you're the MVP of that league.
Right, that's why I said in agreement with y'all.
Okay.
If you got the
Part
MVP
one.
means more than the guy who had a chip riding the bench.
And it's not just money. You can't be sorry and even questioned if you're MVP. They may say somebody else could have won it.
That's true.
But then you will always get challenged if you got a chip and we looking at you like, what'd you do? Like, and that's where I'm saying when you walk around with that jersey on, you better be careful just throwing a ring at
These
somebody.
guys who won MVP that wish they had a chip.
Name one.
Say it again. Say it again.
Barkley, he said it many a times.
He wish he had one, but
He wish he
ask him
had
which
that
one.
chip. He's like
so
that.
ask, so let me, no, that's the wrong question.
yeah, follow up.
That's the wrong question. Ask him this question.
He
Ask
said
him
the
this
chip,
question.
It would have meant more to him
Ask
to win
him this
that
question.
championship than the MVP. He
He's
said that.
full of
you
shit.
can Google it. He
Ask
said
him what he traded.
He said it.
Ask him what he traded.
He said it.
Which one would
Ask
you
him what he
give up?
traded.
He has literally said it.
He would trade
said
it?
he wish he would have had the championship.
Yeah, I wish I would have got
over
one
the
too.
MVP.
I went to 2 finals. I wish I would have won and won too.
Now, right, so you want that championship or the MVP more?
MVP.
MVP.
Okay.
No.
Because again, Kobe only has one MVP, but the people who watch, many people have Kobe as the second greatest player to ever play the game. That's for a reason. That's because your eyes don't lie. That's because, again, if you watch Kobe Bryant play, you know there's no way, first of all, that he shouldn't have more MVPs. But like I said, even if he didn't have that one, you could see that Kobe Bryant not only was the best player on his team, but he was also the best player in the league for many years. It's unquestionable. And so, and then they also alluded to during the clip, and you get more money based off of being an MVP. And there comes the money again. And I'm sorry, like I said, to me, the greats are the greats for a reason. The greats are the greats because winning was the most important thing to them. Whether you're talking about Kobe Bryant, who said, hey, we don't hang division banners. We hang championship banners. And it's like,
franchise does not hang division banners. It does not hang conference championships. we hang one banner and one banner only, and that's NBA titles. And you may not like it. You may think it sucks. You may think it's not great sportsmanship. Get over it. It is what it is. It's a city of champions for a reason.
Whether you think that's fair or not, it is what it is. Whether you're talking about Michael Jordan, who at the beginning of the Historic Bulls mixtape, they played his quote saying, "Hey, to win is all I live for."
To compete, to win, that's all I live for, really. When you lose, you're easily forgotten. And I don't think anyone want to go to their graves forgotten.
When you lose, you're easily forgotten, and I don't think anyone wants to go to their grave forgotten. Well, apparently some people are cool with being forgotten. They'd rather have the 300 million. But yeah, Michael Jordan said, winning is all I live for. Again, I just played a clip where Magic Johnson and Isaiah Thomas was talking about the tragic Johnson incident. And when Magic lost that finals, he talked about how distraught he was, not only after the game, but he said the entire summer. The entire summer. When Bird lost to Magic, he talked about how upset he was about it. And this is going back to college. He talked about how upset he was. When Bird lost to Magic in college, he said he knew that in order for them to have a chance to win, he had to score like 40 points that game. And I think he only scored maybe 28 or 29. But anyway, he blamed himself and he was highly upset about that. Let me tell you something, fanboys. It is no coincidence that the greatest winners of the game are the greatest winners because winning is the most important thing to them. Let me say this one more time for you fanboys out there and for you people with the loser mentality when it comes to sports that think that winning is not the most important thing. The people who end up the greatest winners in the sport are the people who believe that winning is the most important thing. It is not a coincidence that Michael Jordan is 6-0. It is not a coincidence that Kobe Bryant is 5-2. It is not a coincidence that Bill Russell won 11 championships, that Kareem has 6. It is not a coincidence that Tim Duncan has 5. People who winning is the most important thing, then they do what it takes to make sure that gets done because it is the most important thing to them. And people who think money is the most important thing, well, they usually wind up losers talking about, oh, well, if I had played with this person or if I had this coach or if I had that, I would have some championships too. No, you wouldn't because you have a losing mentality. Tracy McGrady. And everyone who talks like that, everyone who on one hand wants to say winning is not the most important thing, but on the other hand wants to say, oh, well, if I had just played with someone who was like Michael Jordan or Shaquille O'Neal, I'd have me some championships too. It is the mindset is the reason you don't have those championships. Because winning was not the single most important thing to you. And that's cool if that's the case. If winning is not the single most important thing to you, that's cool. But you got to own that. You got to say, hey, well, I don't have any championships because winning was not the single most important. I was just trying to make money and I made a lot of it. And cool. If that's your mindset, then own it. But don't start going back and trying to rewrite history saying, oh, well, if I had played with this person, I'd have championships. Or well, championships is a team accomplishment. Or why can't I be in the GOAT conversation like Kevin Durant? When you have a loser mentality, or when you're 4-6 like LeBron James, who says he's not going to lose any sleep over being eliminated from the playoffs, and let's not forget that the only reason LeBron James was able to get championships is from forming the super teams. So I would argue in the case of LeBron James, winning wasn't the most important thing. Being called a winner was the most important thing. Having the label as a winner was the most important thing. Not actually being a winner, not going through the grind to be the best so that you can actually beat the competition, but he was willing to stack the deck and cheat the system just so he can have the label of being a winner. There's a difference. And is if you grew up playing street ball or one-on-one, there probably was somebody who, in your neighborhood that got the best of you most of the time. And for the people who were competitors, like, number one, you would want to play this person as often as possible. And if and when the day came that you were actually able to beat this person, it felt gratifying because you worked on your game enough to get past this obstacle, to get past this person who was better than you. That's what being a winner is. That's what being a winner is. Finding a way to cheat the system, you want the label of a winner. Again, LeBron James wants to be called the GOAT. He doesn't want to be the GOAT. And this mindset seems to have taken over sports, especially the NBA. This loser mentality, this mentality of, I would rather have the money than the championships. That is, I can never, ever get on board with that. But anyway, we gonna hold up here. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. What do you think of the whole MVPs are more important than championships? Do you agree with Kenyon Martin and Marcellus Wiley? Or do you think in sports, the number one most important thing is winning, period? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. You all have a truly fantastic day, and I'll see you next time. All right.